All right, guys. Well, I'm going to go over these words. So, first one, a rancher. So, right, I add an ER on something. A ranch is a place where I have the animals, right? Or I have food. I grow food there at the ranch. So I add ER, it makes a person. A person who works at the ranch is a rancher. Like teach, I teach, I'm a teacher. Teach is a verb. I add ER on it. It turns into a noun, a person, me. So here is search, right? Another verb. You search for something, you look for it. A searcher is a person who is looking for something. My next word, pressure, number 3. So pressure is a measure of something. It's a measure of how hard something is pushing on something else. So continuous force, pressure is the amount of force, how hard I push, depending on how much the area that I have that I'm pushing on. So here's a couple of pictures of it, right? The pressure gauge on your car tells things. We put the pressure on the hammer, right? You whack it. Here's putting pressure on his head, the pressure on the steam. Here's the example of the math problem. Pressure is force divided by the area. Next word, future. Something that happens that hasn't happened yet, right? It's going to happen next, soon. Butcher. So a person who cuts up meat is a butcher. Measure is one of the ways I count things, right? I measure things. It's just one of my ways to count. I count the size of it, the amounts, the degrees. There's different things I measure, different ways I can measure. I use my ruler to measure things, see how long it is. I can measure the temperature. So I measure different things using different instruments to measure them. My next word is pleasure. So pleasure is when you are happy. You feel happy, you feel satisfied, right? If you notice the word please is in there almost, right? If I have my E, right? Please. But it's pleasure, and yeah. Anyway, my next word is mixture. So when I mix something up, I have a mixture. A treasure is something I cherish and is something that's valuable, precious, metals, gems. I keep it carefully. I could use it as a verb also. I treasure something. I use it as a verb. I treasure my treasures that my mom gave to me. Our next word is, I can use this differently, different ways. It could be a noun, a distinctive attribute of someone or something, right? Oh, your features are your face, what you look like, safety features of your car, right? It has dual airbags in the car. I can feature something in a newspaper or magazine so people could see it, the feature of it. Also, the hotel features, if I'm showing something, right, I feature this, I show you it. We go to the cinema to watch the feature movie. And things have different features. Your face, right, we have different features on our face. Some people have a long nose, big ears, different things that your features. Our next word is pasture. So I'll show you a pasture. And the next word after that is creature. So I'm going to show you a creature in a pasture. The creature in the pasture is a cow. The creature is the cow, right? A creature is just like an animal or something. And the pasture is this grass. I looked up pasture so you can see all the grass there. That's the pasture. Sheep eat in the pasture as well. Our next word is lecture, which is what I do, right? I sit there and talk, blah, 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 blah. And next is this. I'm doing a lecture right now on the spelling words. Gesture is the way I move my hands. I can make a nice gesture. I can make a mean. Show you some gestures. Make sure they're not doing any bad ones over here, right? We know some bad gestures. But here's some gestures, right? My thumb up, put my index finger up. I can make a fist, palm open. They're just different gestures, can mean different things I do with my hands. Our next word is nature, right? So anything that's out inside, and it's nature. Fracture is to break something, to crack it. Moisture is wet, right? It's water, something has moisture in it. It's moist, it has wet in it. A stretcher is another good one. So, right, if you go to the hospital, doctors, there's different kinds of stretchers. They can carry you around in a stretcher. So legislature has to do with law and legal and making rules. So legislature, the legislative body of the country or state, they make the legislature, they make the rules. Here, oh, it says, what is legislature in simple words? A legislature is a word that comes from the Latin word meaning those who write the laws. A legislator is therefore a group of people who vote for new laws, for example, in a state or country. Each person in the legislature is usually either elected or appointed.
Legislature.
They says it better than me.
Legislature.
It's, oh, look, learn to pronounce. Let's see. Oh, interesting. All right. Next one, azure. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right, but we'll go look. Azure is a color, like it's a blue, right? I think of azul in Spanish. So here's the color azure. Let's see how to pronounce it correctly.
Azure.
Azure. Azure. So it's a color, look like the sky. Bright blue in color, like a cloudless sky, says the definition. My next word is contest, right? If you contest, in a contest, you compete with people to win. My next word could be confused with desert, but it's not. It's desert, where the sand is, right? The desert is there. So my word desert, actually has two definitions. So in the military, I use it someone who runs away. You desert.
Dessert.
Right? I also eat dessert at food time after I eat my dinner. But it has two S's. I like to remember it because I'm like, oh, I want double helpings of dessert. I want two desserts, not just one. So if you leave your military, then you desert them. My other one is a geography. This is the one you're probably more familiar with. The desert.
Desert.
I pronounce it a little differently. So it's a dry, barren area of land, especially one covered with sand that is characteristically desolate. Desolate means nobody's there. Waterless and without vegetation, right? It does not have any plants. Next word, entrance, right? The entrance is the place where something opens. My next word is miniature. So if something is miniature, it's small. And last but not least, disclosure. So if I disclose, so here is disclosure. It's the act of making new or secret information known, right? I could disclose something to you. I tell you about it. You didn't know about it. Or it was secret before and I'm going to disclose it to you and tell you about it. I just pulled up the picture here. Disclosure, the act of making something known. Example, by law, airline ads must disclose all the restrictions on the special fares they advertise. So like if you buy an airline ticket, they have to say, oh, this ticket you have to disclose, like it doesn't, you can't take your luggage with you unless you pay extra. They have to give you some more information than you already have. All right, those are your words for week 4, unit 4, week 4. So those are your words. All right, thank you. Oh, let me show you one more thing for my friends that watch all the way to the end. I have a special. It is the answer to the sentences, right? Stretch, stretched, stretcher goes with that one. Search, searching, searcher. Moist, moisten, moisture. Mix, mixed, mixture, right? I'm just finding the words that go with these. Press, pressing, pressure. Please, pleasing, pleasure. Lecturer, lectern. It's a stand where I can stand and lean up against. We have one in our classroom. Lecture is the part I talk, right? The person who's talking is the lecturer. The lectern is the... So this is a lectern. We actually have one in our new classroom. Wait till you see it. We're going to get to go to the new classroom. So exciting. So this is a lectern, a tall stand. All right, so here's my next one. Treasurer, treasury, treasure. So the treasurer is the person who takes care of the money. Treasury is the place where the money is, and the treasurer is the money. So the grass in the pasture is long and green. He plans to open a clothing store in the near future. Please make a gesture with your hand when you are ready. The butcher has many different cuts of meat on sale. Will you please measure the width of the desk? How wide is the desk, right, is the width. I'm going to use my tape measure and measure it. The huge creature in the movie frightened my little brother. The best feature of this computer is its screen. Do you think the legislature will enact the proposed law? The rancher has a beautiful stream running through his land. Number 18. The stone in her ring is a bright azure color. Oh, azure. I can't remember how to pronounce it now. We like to take hikes and enjoy nature on the weekends. The doctor said that my fracture should heal. All right, I had to go listen again. She says azure. The stone in her ring is a bright
Azure.
color. Azure. The stone in her ring is a bright azure color. All right, I hope that